Let's talk about the pros and cons of Barcelona. Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel, and in today's video I want to talk about the pros and cons of Barcelona. As some of you may know, I lived in Barcelona in summer 2017 for about a month and a half. I know that's little time, but I have been to Barcelona multiple times because I have friends there. So I just want to share with you the pros and cons of Barcelona. Let's start with the pros. Okay, first, I want to say Barcelona is amazing. It's beautiful. There are so many things to see. Each neighborhood looks completely different. For example, one neighborhood may have normal apartments or houses. You walk into the next neighborhood and there are castles, there are ruins, there are beautiful, beautiful architecture. It's amazing. It blew me away. So if you're there to sightsee, there are lots of things to see, okay? The next pro I want to talk about are the beaches. If you like the beach, you will love Barcelona. The beaches are amazing. They're a little crowded, but they're amazing. The water feels great. The weather, well, the weather it's good and it's bad. The good is that it's sunny, it's nice, it's hot. Okay, I'll talk about the bad part about the weather in a little bit. Um, the next pro is the food. The food is delicious. There are so many restaurants. There are so many places to eat. The food is relatively cheap. I can't say anything bad about the food. The next pro, which I think is very important, is the transportation system. It is the best transportation system I have ever seen. I think it's better than Madrid. Madrid, their transportation system is good too, but Barcelona is amazing. If you don't understand what's being said, inside the metro, there are lights that will tell you which stop you're at. Madrid didn't have this, so I had to look out the window because I wasn't sure if I was in the right stop or not. So that's good. It's a little bit cheaper than Madrid also. You buy like this little card that has 10 trips on it, and it's $1 a trip if you buy the card. There's another one for 50 trips, which is a little bit more expensive, but those are cheaper than just buying one trip each way. So that's what I would recommend, but you won't get lost. There are apps that can help you, but I use Google and I had no problem. The Google app told me which line to take, and it was relatively easy. So the next thing that I want to talk about are the cons. Okay. The cons is that there are lots of tourists, especially in the summer, because Barcelona is a really popular tourist destination. So you will be surrounded by tons and tons of tourists. Because of that, that will bring us to our next con is that Barcelona is relatively expensive. It is probably the most expensive place in Spain. And what I mean by expensive, I mean if you were trying to get an Airbnb or a hotel or something like that, a place to stay, it's expensive. And there are lots of people that will try to rip you off. There was a guy who tried to take my money when I was looking for Airbnb, but I knew it was a scam. He tried to direct me to a phishing site, and it looked real, but I knew. I knew it was a lie. And Airbnb sent me a message because they found out that he was doing this to people. And they said, don't buy from him, go directly through our site. So you have to be on the lookout for that. Also, the next con I want to talk about, back to the weather. The weather's nice, except it's humid. It's really, really humid. I was sweating all the time. I wasn't used to the humidity, so ladies, if you are worried about your hair, you will look like you had electric shock. I'm not joking. So you may want to wear a hat or something because the humidity is real. So the next con I want to talk about is the language. Okay, so Barcelona, well, all in Catalonia, they speak a language called Catalan. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, but when I was there when they had the political independence situation, and the problem was no one wanted to speak to me in Spanish. I wanted to learn Spanish. I wanted to practice my Spanish. And some of the people would be upset to hear me speak Spanish. One time I was in a restaurant with one of my friends, and I had a question about the menu. So I asked the guy, my question, and then he literally snatches, not took out of my hand, he snatched the menu out of my hand, and he's like, "El restaurante está cerrado." And I'm like, okay, I'll go eat somewhere else. So that was something that really bothered me. And also because I have friends there, some of my friends want independence from Spain. My other friends do not. And they would argue or debate. And I would just sit there like, I have no opinion. I'm a foreigner. Like, I don't want to be caught in the middle. So I felt like I was in the middle of that. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to leave Barcelona. Yeah, so that was another thing. Um, Also, the last con I have is that you need to be aware of pickpocketers. Barcelona has lots of people that will try to pickpocket you. And when I was living there, my friend, she warned me and she said, when you go out, don't take too much money because there are people that will pickpocket. And you'll see things on the news where people got caught trying to do this. So I was like, okay. And I was in the metro and someone tried to go into my bag while I had my bag on to take stuff out and I could feel the tugging. So I turn around like, hey, what are you doing? And then they just act like nothing ever happened. So that's something else to be on the lookout for. Um, Other than that, I think Barcelona is amazing. I do think it is a place that you should visit, definitely. So if you go, just remember these things, and I don't think you'll have a problem. So that is it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. If you are in this place where you can't watch a video, I also include these types of subjects on my blog. I put the link down below in the description. So if you're at work, for example, and you can't watch a video because you don't want to get in trouble with your boss, but you can, pop open another browser window to read, you can check out my blog too. Okay? Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Hasta luego.